is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood. Ah, yes. Welcome to Deadhaus Whispers.
What's up? I'm Calypso. Welcome to Deadhaus Whispers. That was totally abrupt. I was not prepared. Yes, welcome to Deadhaus Whispers. This is just a Sanguine Sunday episode. It's going to be a casual episode. Not too much Deadhaus talk. More just just random general things of passions. And so welcome to Deadhaus Whispers, everybody. Hope you guys are well. I am Calypso once again, and as always, joined by me is Faceless Mike, our other host.
You were not prepared.
I was not prepared.
Allow me to do the back end here, so ignore me
go
for
ahead.
a moment.
We're just setting up. So because this is a Sanguine Sunday, and we're going to be kind of just talking casual, and we were talking about this a little bit before stream, but I've been watching the PC Gaming Showcase, and I'm still watching it, and I was watching the Bethesda Showcase as well for Xbox, whatever. And man, there are just so many games coming out. It's ridiculous. We finally got to see some Starfield stuff, which looks great. It's Fallout 76 with a space skin. Let's see, we got some Diablo 4 stuff, which I'm really excited about. I've been playing a lot of Diablo 4 lately.
Yes, we'll pretend that it's not trying to overshadow a particular mobile game that may or may not have caused issues.
Yep. Maybe. Nope, not at all. Not at all. That can't be the reason. There's just so many things. System Shock finally got a release date, or a release window, I guess. That's pretty much everything else. So what are you
I'm looking forward to Sea of Thieves and the Ninja Turtles, because I'm still a child living in the 90s.
I completely forgot there was another Ninja Turtles. I forgot that was going on. But yeah, that looks awesome. Sea of Thieves looks amazing. And I think we were saying earlier also.
That's one of my favorite go-to games. That is like one of the greatest things I love playing with people, and even just by myself, just like go out and sail, because there's something crazy relaxing about just going on a wild adventure. Like, for anyone that hasn't tried it out, there's been so many things added to that. It's like worthwhile checking out, and it's one of those ones free on Game Pass type situations. Like, Can I just point out, I stopped adhering to the console wars. I'm old enough that the console wars don't exist for me anymore. The console wars were Sega versus Nintendo. Those days are gone. Right now, I'm very much
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah. I'm more about what's best for you as the consumer. Like, the PlayStation isn't better, the Xbox isn't better. What's best for you? But right now, if you do not have Game Pass, you are doing yourself a tremendous disservice. I feel as a gamer, if you have a console or you just game regularly, because even down to, there's been at least 24 in the past 12 to 13 months, games that I've tried that I never would have bought. But because they're free on Game Pass, I tried and I was like, holy crap, this is really good. This is like, I would never have given this a second look, but wow,
Yeah, Xbox has really stepped the game up, and Game Pass is a honestly, this isn't shilling.
Not at all. Not sponsored really. In the slightest. Wish we were. Really wish we were.
Yeah, wish we were. Everyone go please subscribe to Game Pass. Click that link down below first. No, Game Pass is a great idea. One, it's good for developers because, oh, hey, we're going to give you all this money to help develop your game. Just put it on our thing. We'll put it on Game Pass so people can play it. And then Game Pass is like honest, constant free demos of games, or just the entire game in general. And if you like the game enough, you wouldn't you buy it anyway, just to have that game permanently, just in case your Game Pass subscription is up or you stop subscribing for Game Pass.
I've known people that, and it's very rare they'll do this because they'll cycle games in and out. But like when you have Game Pass and a game comes on and then they're going to remove it, and they tell you they're going to remove it, like it doesn't just disappear one morning. They warn you what's going away that month. You get a discount to buy it, and I've known people that have played games like, no, I'm keeping that, and then they bought it at the discount and all. So like win-win.
That's awesome. It's a great deal. Sony needs to step their game up and do a Game Pass style.
They're trying to, but
they're trying.
Nickel and dimey.
Mm-hmm. Like God, I guess I don't want to badmouth Sony because I do love Sony, but they just we need Phil Spencer to go in there and help Sony out a little bit, you know?
We need to, you see, Sony's very much stuck in a very Asian mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Sony of America is not pulling its weight at all. There's Sony Entertainment Europe.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can because
it's showing.
They're gridlocked. They're gridlocked into Sony Japan or however they're operating things.
Like, they had some great ideas at the beginning, because I'll tell you, when PS4 first launched and revamped the store and all of that, one of the first free-to-play games on it was Warframe.
Yeah, that's all. And Warframe is still going strong to this day.
That got me into Warframe, because I was like, wonder what's free. Hey, that looks interesting. Like, there you go. They were ahead of the curve on that one. But
yeah,
they've been a bit lacking. You have been found lacking. You know? Which brings me to another question, Calypso. So I've been trolling through the Deadhaus Discord, as I do quite frequently. And there's been a lot of new people. And many all seem to be confused as to what Deadhaus is. So, as you'd say to Dennis, 10,000-foot pitch, Calypso, what's Deadhaus to someone that has no idea? Brand new gamer.
Okay.
Not new to gaming, but new to, not
new to
familiar
Deadhaus
with this. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're new to Deadhaus and you're stumbling across this episode of Deadhaus Whispers, Deadhaus Sonata it's an action, to quote Dennis, I guess it's a narrative action driven RPG where the undead are fighting the living. Right. That's the basic. Here's what the style of game is. Action RPG. What do you think of? Think of Diablo, like I just said a couple minutes ago. You think of Warframe a little bit. You think of Path of Exiles. Think of just even, I guess, Titan Quest if you really want to go back there.
The Witcher, Dark Souls.
The Witcher, Dark Souls,
people think ARPG and they think Diablo, but they keep forgetting ARPG is a wide category.
Yes, just because Diablo sort of set the foundations for that genre and everything doesn't mean every action RPG is like Diablo. Even though as hard as some of them try to be. But no, so Deadhaus Sonata, it's a third person narrative driven action RPG where the undead are fighting the living. It's a spiritual successor to Legacy of Kain and other games that Dennis Dyack has worked on. Like, if you guys are Legacy of Kain fans, I think you will enjoy Deadhaus Sonata for what it is. Narratively, if you liked Blood Omen, if you liked Soul Reaver, if you liked just the story of Legacy of Kain, then I think you'll like Deadhaus Sonata. It's one of those games where, I think Dennis said in an interview once, it's where Warframe, for example, has a great story that nobody has experienced because it takes forever to sort of get into that story. Deadhaus Sonata is going to be narratively a game where the story you are invested in from day 1 to day 1,000, right? Because the narrative is going to be a weaving thing. It's going to rewrite narrative, similar to how me and a friend were talking about, Dungeons and Dragons. Like, if you ever play Dungeons and Dragons with your friends, then the stories that you guys tell each other of how your character did this or whatever your character did that, whatever the DM was doing, it's going to be kind of similar to that, I'd say, for narrative. Like, the narrative is something that you guys create throughout Deadhaus, as well as having, a canon story of here's the main beat.
The funniest part is when you can tell someone, it's like, how long have you been playing Deadhaus? Ages. That's a common phrase. Yeah,
literal ages.
Ages. You can actually be their ages. But I don't think a lot of people understand, Dennis had said this years ago. It's actually years ago now, when they were initially pitching the concept about how, when you're talking about narrative driven and community involvement. So Sea of Thieves had a thing going on that just concluded recently this week, right? There was an island called Golden Sands, and the whole thing was Save Golden Sands. So there was one group of people trying to destroy it because it got them all messed up, and there was another people trying to save it. This is a binary choice. It is save or damn it. It's very, very simple, very basic. So players could pick either side, talk to the person, do the quests, and they helped save it. So that ticked up of people saving it versus damning it. It has now been decided, because of community vote by whodunit, of how this is going to go. And that will be part of the lore in the future going forward, whether it's been saved or damned. Deadhaus will be doing this with the main story of the game.
Yes.
Frequently. And it will be decided by what quests you do, what quests you don't do, who you decide to be. This is the idea for the game. I don't think people really understand this. In The Witcher, the way, the main quest is find Ciri. Well, for the first half of the game, find Ciri, right? And then there's a load of other mini quests you do along the way that either help or hinder this. And then those play a part in things later. You've got the Novigrad, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't care about spoiling this. The game's old. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
The game is almost it's old now.
Right. So if you do certain side quests, there's one that if you just happen to go this direction, you'll find Letho from The Witcher 2.
Yeah.
Right? And you can help Letho. And if you help Letho and the quest turns out the right way, later on, he helps you in the game. But if you've never done that, that never happens. So that's how Deadhaus is going to work on a grand scale, because it's going to be tracking user data. That's the whole thing. Dennis is saying about using big data, but use it for good, in a positive way that people will enjoy, rather than the algorithms trying to sell you crap ads on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't demonetize us because we're not monetized.
Yet. No, something that something I guess that you can also think about with Deadhaus is if you guys have ever watched other developers be like, oh, hey, for online or whatever, like World of Warcraft, they did this often where it's like how many people killed this character or beat that boss or did this raid or did that dungeon. And they have all these numbers of how many players actually did that. Imagine that for Deadhaus, where all these players are doing that. And because that overwhelming players rated this dungeon or did this for this choice, then that's going to be the canon choice. So
imagine you go into the dungeon,
a character or kill a character. If all of these characters decide to save that character, that's canon now. The character is saved. If they went the other way, then that character is dead. That's awesome.
And it'll be driven like that, and that'll go into the lore of the game. And if you're someone that's there from the start, who's like, I was there when that choice is made, the bragging rights of, you don't know, I was there in the first stage. I will be that grizzled old man. I will be that grumpy old guy. But that's the fun of it, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. Like something that this also, I guess, could say will have ramifications on the overall narrative of the game, and that's narrative within the world itself, as well as narrative within the community and like the public space and the people and your friends that play it, right? So a really good example of this is there was a World of Warcraft player called Amni, Angry. It sounded like Angry, I think was the name, Amni. And he was a really high level rogue character. And all he would do is on a PvP server, he would take control of this dock. So if you got on this boat, you tried to get off at this dock, he would kill you and your character. He would then travel to the graveyard that was right next to the dock, and he would kill your character again. And he did this to thousands upon thousands of players. He was the main guy who controlling this dock. He was so overpowered, nobody could beat him. And unless you formed a public raid with your team to go and take this guy out, right? Years later, this guy has become a legend within the World of Warcraft community on the forums. There was even a website dedicated to all the people he's killed and all the angry comments they left and all the emails they sent in classic Warcraft. They even did a freaking documentary of this guy just recently, right? But that kind of stuff is going to be a mainstay for Deadhaus. The community will end up talking about this one specific moment that a player does, or player does this. A really good example is in Elden Ring. That one character player, Let Me Solo Her,
absolute legend,
has become a literal legend within Elden Ring now because of just his actions within the game and the community and the world. He even has a freaking statue in Elden Ring now of his character. He's gone down in legendary history of this
community
character.
Engagement, and that is what Dennis and team are planning on building.
Yes,
that's how it's going to go. That's not going to be the exception. They want this to be the standard. Bringing narrative back and getting your voice included in the narrative.
And if you handle it well, then then that's all that really needs to be done, I guess. Just handle it well. The other thing I think that So we have that for Deadhaus, right? We have that it's a narrative action-driven RPG. So that's the narrative aspect of it. The action aspect of it, or the action RPG aspect of it, is you can think of it like a specced out Diablo or a Path of Exiles or a Warframe, even with how the skills and everything are going to work. The skill tree. I just released a video on this for my YouTube channel, Calypso.
Go check it out. It'll be linked below.
Somewhere else. So unlike regular skill trees within other games, Deadhaus Sonata is going to kind of have a weird system. You have a physical skill tree, a magical skill tree, and an ethereal skill tree or an essence skill tree. So those are your main trees.
Well, they're your kind of they're your resources, and each skill, each arrow will draw from one of these ones.
Yeah. So let's say you have your physical. There we go. Resources is better. So you have your physical resource, right? You have all these abilities within that physical resource, and then those abilities or skills are going to have abilities and skills of their own. As like sub skills. So it really is like just a tree with all these branches branching out to have your skills and abilities that you can spec and respec and build your character out to help other characters in your game or just yourself. Certain characters will be better in others in some skills or trees than others. The vampire, for example, is a jack of all trades, so he's good in all three areas. You have the revenant, who is really physical, but can also be mastered in like essential or magical. It's kind of a complex system. On paper, it's a little bit complex, but once you see it in footage, then it makes a lot more sense, But yeah, so that's like the action RPG element of it. And then the other thing is like, it's going to be a gothic horror Legacy of Kain style game. So it kind of just wraps everything up in a little bow, Yeah. Deadhaus Sonata.
That's going to be the way it goes. While you do that, I'm actually going to pull up some pictures of as we're doing. So that's how the game goes. Yeah. By the way, Calypso gives a fantastic explanation of the tarot system. We'll link the video down below. Yeah. Definitely worth going checking out, especially for the new ones. Now, here's the other question, Calypso, while I'm doing this. There was a lot of people that were they were baffled by Deadhaus. They came into it and I seen that they didn't want to read the lore because they felt that the lore was too thick, it was too dense. Maybe they had a bit of overload. I understand some people can have cognitive overload. They can't dare to read mountains of text. So, quick overview. Run me through the classes. You're completely new to the game. Explain it, because people are coming in and they might have their own preconceived idea of what a lich is, but that's not what Deadhaus is. So,
yeah. Okay, so classes are, you have your vampire, which is the main one that they've been showing off in the weekly Deadhaus Sonata streams that you do, Mike. And it's the one that's been talked about the most, I think. So you have the vampire. You have your banshee. So think of like traditional Irish folklore banshees. You have the wraith. Ghost stealth class, I suppose. You have the revenant, which is sort of like your physical tank. You have your ghoul. Then you have, I know I'm missing some, right? Lich, lich. And then, is that it? Oh my God, dude.
Come on.
Let's see. Hold on. Vampire, banshee, wraith, revenant, ghoul, lich. Don't make me look this up. Don't answer. I don't want to look at the comments. White. There we go. The white. Yeah. All right. I knew I forgot one. Yeah. Okay. So yes. So the classes are going to be a little bit different and weird also for Deadhaus. And this all ties into the tarot skill system and the action RPG element thing of it, right? Oh gosh, I wish I could pull up images or whatever for this.
Give me a second.
But so the vampire is going to be a jack of all trades class. So that means he specializes in the physical, the magical, and the essential state. So think of it like your health, your magic, and your stamina in basic terms. That's not what it is, but that's the most basic thing I can think of to anybody who is wanting a quick understanding of this. The green or the essential is stamina, even though it's not stamina, but you can think of it as stamina for now, right? Just to try to wrap your head around this. So you have the vampire. He specializes in all three of those, but being a jack of all trades, you are a master of none. The banshee
more
specializes
often better than the master of one.
Yes. The banshee specializes in the magical tree, but again, she can subskill in the health and the stamina tree, right? The whole thing is all of these classes have a specialty in one specific area. That's where they're going to be the strongest, but you don't have to lock your character into that one specific area. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when playing a wizard class in any other RPG, you specialize in mana, right? You always dump your stat points into vitality and mana or willpower or whatever they want to call it, right? You don't go for dexterity. You don't go for charisma or the whatever the other one is that I can't remember. But yeah, you always dump your skill points into health and mana so you can live longer and you can cast more spells, right? You could think of other characters like that kind of doing that, but rather than being stopped at dumping your skill points into physical or mana, you can dump your skill points into anywhere you want and it'll benefit you no matter what. And the skills that you pick out or the skills that you find within the world of Deadhaus Sonata are going to be the things that allow you to build your character the way you want, which tree you want to go into, but you can go into all three of them. It's very different. It's very complex. It's very unique. And it's something that I think once you understand it and look into it a little bit more, then you'll get it. I understand not wanting to dump into the lore and read all that kind of stuff because sometimes you just want to jump in and kill things. That's cool. You don't have to. It's not a requirement, but it helps if you want to understand the world more. Like all action RPGs or like all RPGs, and yeah, but you don't have to. Like, I love Dungeons and Dragons. Do I love the lore of Dungeons and Dragons? Not really. Do I love playing Dungeons and Dragons? Yes. I think if there's a good story or whatever, it's cool, but I'm not a huge Dungeons and Dragons nerd. I don't know all the backstory and the deep interconnecting characters and arcs and all the years that Dungeons and Dragons has gone through. I don't know any of that crap. I just like playing Dungeons and Dragons and killing people with my wizard character. Like, that's it, man. It can be as basic. Deadhaus can be as basic as you want it to be, but if you want to explore and understand more and really dig deep into the game, then you can. Not to bring up Diablo again, but like Diablo can be as basic as you want it to be, or you can dig really deep into the lore for Diablo and understand it if you really want to, or you can just click on things and kill stuff. Like, that's awesome. And that's the good thing about action RPGs is that they're so deep. They're like a mile wide and an inch deep for everything. It's a mile wide and a mile deep. Okay, there we go. Yeah, those are all of our classes. From left to right, we have our Lich, Ghoul, White, Banshee, Wraith, Revenant, and Vampire. And all of these and I guess a good way to do this is the colors surrounding the classes are kind of the trees that they specialize in a little bit, or
if you look at the website, it'll also show the trinary. Like, you can take a look at where they fall onto it, because that's a good idea of what way it's going. Oh, shout out as well for anyone listening. If you haven't, you might want to go onto the forum because we're voting on names. The names for the vampire got narrowed down, and there's a poll now.
Oh shit! I gotta go to that poll then and vote. Everyone go do it, because I'm about to do it too.
I'll tell you. I'll pull up the names and we'll see what way we're going. I shudder at some of the choices, but it is what it is.
I wonder naming things is so hard. You can go the really basic route and call like Scotland Skosgol or Skolsgol, even though that's just Scotland.
Ryoji, greetings. So what we have is Yornoth, Victor, Matthias,
Victor,
Darius Valdor, Malachi, Xeraxis, Menathriel, Venomir, Quillian, and Argento.
Ooh, Quillian and Argento are really good. Wow, those aren't bad names. I'm pretty sure
no one picked Argento so far, apparently, or Malachi. Malachi.
Damn it! They didn't like my Malachi, bastards.
There's no one on
voted
that
for
yet.
the
Look,
wrong
go
one.
vote. It'll tell you the numbers.
Yeah. Oh,
So
man.
far in the
Okay.
lead, we have Victor,
Victor.
because apparently everyone wants Marvel characters. You know?
Yeah, because
Everyone
it
wants
was a
Victor the
vampire.
vampire.
Yeah, it is vampire.
There was someone that got upset because they suggested Morbius and it got removed. It's like, they had to be trolling. I refuse to believe
It's
that was
Morbin
legit.
time.
It's Morbin time. So the lead ones at the moment are Victor and Venomir, because we all live in a Marvel universe where it needs to be Peter Parker and, Venomir the
Peter
vampire.
Parker, Venomir the Victor.
Hello,
Victor
Bone Wolf.
Venomir the
Greetings.
vampire. No, you know what it is? It might be that Vorador thing that everyone's still hanging over the Vorador name. Vorador is a great
Dude,
name.
I swear to God, at least more than half of our audience aren't old enough to know Blood Omen.
Oh, that's true. Oh gosh, it sucks.
Just
being
so
old
we can
sometimes.
feel old, yeah. We should be doing TikTok dance. Put
Yeah,
up the
we should.
Deadhaus music, do TikTok dance.
God, when that happens, then I'm out. Sorry guys, I'm out of Deadhaus. I quit all shilling of Deadhaus from now on. No, no. Okay, so Zaraxis was on there. Yeah,
Yes,
that's a
I
great
like
name
that
too.
one. That was my vote. That's Dakian for king.
That's
or,
awesome.
leader and
Zaraxis is
stuff.
badass.
That's a name. That's
Zaraxis.
Zaraxis. You say Zaraxis, it sounds like you should be the lead singer of some Norwegian death metal band. It's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, definitely. It's awesome.
So yeah, there's where we
Zaraxis.
are now. Go vote. Y'all need to go vote. This isn't like an election. This is an actual important issue.
This
Go
will
vote for the name of the vampire.
Yes. So, how many votes does Victor have so far?
Victor is at 7, and
7
Venomir
votes.
is at
Crap.
7.
Okay, guys, I need everybody watching to just go re-vote. Can you re-vote? Can you vote twice?
No, you can't vote twice, but you can change your vote.
Oh man. Okay, so everybody go change your votes to Malachi, because that's an awesome name. Okay. Or
We must unite to
Zaraxis.
dethrone
Zaraxis is
Victor.
an awesome name. We have to dethrone Victor because Victor is so basic, guys. Like Victor, I can't hear Victor without thinking of Dracula saying Victor in Van Helsing, that Hugh Jackman movie, because he always says it so flame, like Victor.
That was
I am
the best
Dracula.
Up until the anime, that was the best Castlevania movie that had ever been made, because it
Oh,
had nothing to do
definitely,
with
dude.
Dracula or Van
That was the
Helsing.
best. That was the best Castlevania or gosh, what Vampire Hunter D? That was a great Vampire Hunter D movie. Like all of it, dude. That was such a good movie, though. It was so cheesy. I love it.
Oh, it was absolute pure cheese, and that was why it was glorious. Speaking of which, did you see the trailer for the new Castlevania?
I have not, but I heard it's Richter. They're doing Richter this next season for Castlevania.
And if you listen carefully,
do they do his music?
You can hear Alucard talking, because there's loads of voices. It's just Richter from behind, so it's clear they're going for Rondo then Symphony.
Oh yeah, definitely doing Rondo. I think they might do Symphony because they might do Symphony after.
Yeah,
because if they do Rondo of Blood and then
I
they do
pretend
Symphony,
I would have my little amiibo of Richter and my little Castlevania pops. Pick your poison. It's either Victor or Venomir. Just sounds too close to Vesemir to me.
Yeah, that's
why
totally
it's like-
Vesemir. That's way too Vesemir. Oh, speaking of Vesemir, I finally started watching The Witcher season 2.
Yes, I know.
I have
told you.
words.
Told you.
Like, for what they're doing, it's good. If this wasn't The Witcher and it was some other generic fantasy thing, I'm down with it. I'm cool. But because it's The Witcher,
Told you. You have to pretend it's not connected to the video games of the
I
books
am
and just
totally
watch it as its own thing.
I'm pretending. I'm trying, man. But they after episode 2,
Episode 1 is completely wrong from the books.
episode
That's just
1.
me.
I liked episode 1. I thoroughly enjoyed episode.
It's a
1.
good thing, but
It was
when
good-
you've read,
it was a
if
good,
you've read that
take.
story in the book, I think it's in Sword of Destiny. It's a really good story. They just changed it, and it's kind of like they rewrote the story, but it's also a sequel to the story because he already knows the guy. It's weird.
Yeah, it was weird. And there's so much on the hand foreshadowing like holding your hand foreshadowing for that first episode of The Witcher season 2, especially if you've read the books and you know what's going to happen, right? You know that like, oh wow, they're just spelling that out for everybody. I don't want to spoil anything, but like,
it's old.
it was a good episode, and it was cool seeing Tormund without a beard from Game of Thrones. It was really cool seeing Tormund without a beard.
I half kept waiting to ask, is the big woman here?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. He is the big man now. No, it was a good episode though. For another twist on The Witcher and that story, I thought it was good. And then episode 2 just throws all that. You almost had me redeeming the show out the window. And but anyway. So
just go watch the anime again and pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. God, the anime is so good though. Like I loved the anime. I thought it was great. The young Vesemir anime, I thought that was awesome. Venomir is way too Vesemir of a name. Venomir is way too much Vesemir. So we need to, please guys, change your vote to something that's not Victor or Venomir. please. Even what's one of the names, like Dulgo something or other? Doesn't it have a full name for that?
Darius Valdor.
Yeah, even that's a better name than Venomir or Victor. Not that I'm saying whoever came up with those names, if you guys are watching this, it's not bad names. It's just for this character, for like, let's so generic fantasy. Let's try to steer away from generic fantasy.
At least it's not Morbin.
At least it's not Morbin time. At least it's not Morbin time.
By saying this out loud, we're complacent in assisting the algorithm with that crap.
Oh, I know. I mean,
thankfully, Cerberus isn't an option.
Yeah.
Someone just outright, I didn't realize this. I had to be told when I was amalgamating some of these names and like certain things had to go. Someone just outright just put a Harry Potter name in there. Seriously? And I'm that much of an idiot. I didn't know because I don't read Harry Potter or anything. So I didn't know. And someone said, you can't put that in. That's a Harry Potter name. I'm like, oh, wow. Did someone legitimately do that? Wow.
Voldemort. His name is Voldemort. That's the new vampire's name.
He who shall not be named.
Yeah. If every name gets down to a tie miraculously, then the vampire's name should be he who should not be named. You know who. It should just be you know who.
This does not look like a Victor.
No, it doesn't look like a Victor.
He looks the guy who mugged Victor and then ate him.
Yeah, and then ate him. Yeah. He looks like a Morbius.
He does
God.
not. No,
well, I think what's funny is that everybody spoke Morbius 2 into existence because Morbius is getting memed.
No, the worst part is Jared Leto ruined it.
Seriously? Did he? No, I did not.
It's like they done a video like where he's trying to be a smartass. They did TikTok. It's like, what are you reading? Oh, nothing. Oh, is that the script for the sequel? And it was just Morbius 2. It's Morbin time. And it's like, now it's ruined. Now it's like, it's like when your dad comes in and makes the joke. It's kind of like, oh.
Are you winning, son? Oh. No, Dad, I'm losing because you walked in.
Speaking of losing, that's the whole thing with Diablo Immortal. That's everyone keeps arguing, and even Calypso went back on
really
with the pay to win. Game.
Even I talked about another pay to win thing for freaking Diablo Immortal. My mistake was I made that video way too early, and then it turns out it is pay to win, so I had to backtrack everything said.
It's not. Here's the funny part. You got it right the first time, and people completely misunderstand it. In a game with that amount of money and 22 different currencies, and the amount of different microtransactions has been laced into the game, it's not pay to win, though, because everyone keeps saying it's pay to win. You can pay all that money, and you still won't win. Because you can't win. It's designed in that way.
That's true. No, see, that's the thing that people don't understand, or that I don't understand. Yeah. I guess I play looters all wrong because when I play looters,
the more you pay, the more you lose.
The more I pay, the more I lose. No.
You've all been to Vegas. You know how this works.
Yeah, exactly. Gambling. No. So when I play looters, but I'm a different gamer, I guess. I play looters because I'm invested into the world. I'm invested into the God, what am I trying to say here? Sorry. I'm invested
in the game.
in the game itself.
the world,
I'm invested into the combat.
thing.
I think the combat's really fun. I think getting the loot is really fun. I'm invested into the lore and the story of the world. Like, end game for looters is get the best loot, get the best character, PvP stuff, all that kind of junk.
Fashion
right?
frame.
Like that's end game.
All comes down to fashion frame.
For looters. Fashion frame. The only way to win is not to play. So like that's what I have when I play looters. For like Diablo, the winning of Diablo is get the best loot. But with Diablo Immortal, they've locked getting the best loot behind a bunch of paywalls, and not just one paywall, multiple different paywalls to depend on what you're going to do. A friend of mine showed me a video where someone spent $20 to unlock, all the good crap. He did it first free to play completely. He unlocked like 4 legendary good items, right? He paid that $20. He unlocked like 40 different legendary different items. But the whole thing is like, if you're going to do a PvP, and try to get up on that leaderboard for PvP stuff, and like the only way to really do that for Diablo Immortal, I guess, is to pay a bunch of money to get the best gear. But here's the thing. You don't really have to if you don't fucking want to. And that's my problem with Diablo Immortal. It's not a bad game. It's a really fun game with your friends. The action is really fun. It's got like all the good stuff about Diablo 3 minus the really shitty Warcraft art style that I don't like. But it's a really fun game. The problem with Diablo Immortal that everybody's freaking out about is that, it's pay to win. There's all these loot things, but you don't have to buy any of that crap if you don't want to. You can farm for all the legendary gold, and it might take you thousands and thousands of hours to get all this legendary loot, or you might not even get it at all. But the thing is that people don't remember 20 years ago with Diablo 2, you can farm for thousands and thousands of hours in Diablo 2 and never unlock the legendary, like the best armor, the best items in the game, because the drop rate is like 0.4% for like all the legendary stuff.
Grind 10 years you get the minute you can buy gear or buy the ability to get gear, because they've done this fantastic thing where they tried to hide loot boxes behind the rifts and crests. From a business standpoint, that's very elegant. As a player standpoint, that's criminal, and you're going to get in trouble for it, and you should be rightly punished, because you can't sell loot in a game where the goal is to kill things to get loot. Like you're taking away the point. It's the same with I don't like where there's games that let you skip, or that give you experience scrolls, like getting something that you can pop that'll give you 5% more experience or something for an hour. Okay, that's kind of okay. But when you get stuff,
are kind of bad.
That's why when you get stuff that's like making you skip, it's like either A, you've intentionally throttled the game to make it longer and artificially inflating the runtime, or B, your game is crap and want me to skip it. So why would I even play it? Like, why would you pay money to buy a game and then pay money to skip playing the game?
Yeah,
I never understand that.
Something that turned me off about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I love the world of Odyssey. I think it's beautiful. I think they did a great job with it. I think the combat's even fun. I love all that shit about Odyssey. The problem with Odyssey is they unlocked the game behind money. So you can grind out the game and spend hundreds upon freaking hours with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but you have to kill all these cult members. And you have to level up. If you want to level up faster, you could put money down or whatever to play it. But like, you're paying to get further into your game. Why? Just let me let that. Like, I don't mind the cosmetic stuff they put into Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it's just cosmetics. Whatever, I don't care. But if I have to put money down to get faster experience, to grind, to beat the last boss or whatever, and the game is only 60% done, and there's all these other shit to do, then that's bad. That's bad. I understand video games are really expensive to make, and you need to make money. That's why they have DLCs. That's why they have expansions. But there is ethical ways to do monetization of DLC.
I'll actually bring that up. It's like there's Temujin saying clips. It would take you close to 40,000 years. 40,000 years to farm the same level it would take you to buy for $200,000. And don't forget it's seasonal, so the progress will be reset at intervals. Now, when you talk about ethical monetization, we're back to my old buddies that I mentioned at the start, Sea of Thieves. They have a perfectly ethical business model. You never need to buy a single damn thing in that game because everything that you can buy for money is cosmetic and has absolutely no influence on the game whatsoever. And they rake in money because they've really cool cosmetics. You're like, this is so fun. I've been getting so much fun out of this game. I don't mind buying those silly sales or that silly gun or boat. You have the way the game works is you have a basic set of equipment. You have your shovel for digging up, you have your pistol, you have a blunderbuss, you have a rifle. You have the full set of equipment. And what you're buying is skins for them to make the things look cool. Either your equipment or the boat. That's it. That's all you buy. And they have loads of different things for it. And there's loads of emotes. And of course, because it's fashionable, you can have different clothes. Has no effect on the game whatsoever. But there's loads of it in there. And people spend money on it. There, Ryoji, I was on Mike's boat. He paid to be Captain Edgelord. Yes, I did. I have a kick-ass Captain Edgelord costume. He's got a skull, like a plague doctor mask and everything. He is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. No. That's, I think if you're going to do cosmetic stuff, like I play Hunt Showdown a lot too, right? Mm-hmm. Really good, fun, really difficult game Hunt Showdown is. But all the stuff that you can buy in that game is just cosmetic stuff. You do not need to buy anything, but it's really cool cosmetics. They have a Plague Doctor skin. I'm so mad. That's only unlockable from Twitch drops and for like seasonal, like their Halloween event. It's a really cool Plague Doctor.
And why don't you start watching them for
I would buy that for $10, man. I would buy it for $10, but like it's only for seasonal Twitch drops. I'm so friggin' mad. But they have a bunch of other really cool skins for Hunt Showdown, but that's all it is. It's just skins. It's just DLC, and they're like $5-10 or whatever occasionally. Like, that's it, man. Like the thing with Diablo Immortal, what they need to do is they need to just switch it to cosmetics, because like their cosmetics for a really cool piece of armor in Diablo Immortal is like $15, and all it does is sit on top of your regular armor. It doesn't do anything but just make you look cool. $15. If they cut that down to like $5 or $10 for like double packs or something, they would make way more money for cosmetic items than they would off of all the shit that you need to do to level up or get PvP or whatever.
I put that on the screen just because something when I read it out and responded, I didn't realize, look at the game we're supporting.
Yeah, exactly. Deadhaus, that's the other thing. For Deadhaus Sonata, hold on. I need to put up a mark so I can find this in video editing. All right. So when we're talking about Deadhaus Sonata, Deadhaus Sonata is free to play. Oh no. Yeah, Deadhaus Sonata is free to play, but it's going to take that free to play model of Warframe, of Path of Exiles,
of not pay to win, where it's just cosmetic stuff. And the best part is you don't even need to spend like real money on any of this cosmetic stuff. You can earn in-game currency as well to unlock the cosmetic stuff. You can grind to get that in-game currency to unlock the cool cosmetics, or you can drop $5 and get a cool skin or colors to customize your character or whatever. Just I would say look at Warframe, look at Path of Exiles for their cosmetic stuff and how they do it, how they do monetization. That's generally what Deadhaus Sonata is. There's a lot of cool stuff coming for it down that path. But the other side is, keep in mind, it's free to play, not pay to win. Calypso done a fantastic video on this before.
Yep.
And you will be able to customize anything you want in this game. And that's where nearly all the monetization will be like customize your crypt, customize your character and all like that. It's not going to gate you in the game. That's the purpose of this, because Dennis always talks about an ethical business model, and that's the way it is to go forward. And one thing to clarify, because a lot of people keep asking about this, they ask, oh, how come we didn't get a key? Here it is. Currently, there is a demo. It is a combat room demo. It is not a demo of the game. It is a combat room where people who have earlier access and I'll tell you how to get the early access in a minute, but it's early access so that people can try out the combat and give feedback in the community, on the forums, on the Discord and all like that, about what they like to see, what they'd like to see in the future, what they don't like, what they think would be changed. This is not the game demo. That's a combat room demo. To get access to it, all you need to do is be a supporter of any level. If you've bought a Founders Pack in the past, if you buy a Supporters Pack tomorrow, doesn't matter when or how. You drop into the weekly streams on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. They're the same time every week. You'll find my lovely self there. playing the game. And at the end of the month, we'll still be doing the developer streams with Dennis, Colden, and co. And when we say so, drop a 333 in the chat. That's it. That's it. I will promise you I will get a key to you. Because that's what I do after each of the stream. I skim the names for everyone that's put the 333 in the chat, and we reach out to you. Little tip, I've had people not reach out to me. There has been people who would put in the 333 in the chat, and because we're on Restream, as you can see, it's the same with Deadhaus. It goes across many platforms. No Halo here. We put it in the chat, and someone will put a 333 from YouTube, and then I try to reach out to them in Discord, and their name will be different on Discord, so I can't find them. I'll say, hey, can anyone that's reached out to me that was on the stream last night, can you DM me here? And I'll make sure we can get your key. I've still had like 6 or 7 people not come back to me with every stream.
That's okay. Well, I guess clarify for this, for the people now, as well as me. I apologize, anybody, if I've been giving out misinformation. We have it corrected here. Will the Deadhaus combat demo be public at some point in the future?
Hopefully. That's the plan.
Hopefully.
And they can't give dates or times, but that is the plan, that this will be available. This will also be going forward. So as it is right now, it is the testing room. As this goes forward, and even into the first, second, third age and going forward, they would like to keep the combat arena up and use it like a public test server. So that when new things are implemented, new classes, new characters, new abilities, they can be tested out there to kind of get some kind of feedback and focus testing on it and what the players think about it before it gets implemented into the game proper. So this ain't going away.
Alrighty. Good to know. Good to know.
And I have to be shameless because I'm not just playing it for work anymore. I have spent a ridiculous amount of hours in that combat demo, Calypso.
Oh man, I need to catch up with Varric and Sailor Midgard playing it. Man, they have hundreds of hours already.
No, they don't.
So bad. Oh, they don't?
See how much I have.
Oh well, I mean, hey, you're part of the team. So
have you got me on Steam? Yes, you do. Go take a look at the top. Your friends there. Oh, hey, Gloomwood. Oh, what? Early access, Gloomwood. What?
For anybody who, really quick aside, Gloomwood is a thief-like game being developed by New Blood Interactive. They are boomer shooters from my heart, and they are making
recheck that, Sailor.
It's basically Thief with guns. I think that's the actual website, Thief with Guns. Oh my God, I can't even find you on here anymore. Let me just type it in.
Go click Deadhaus, and then at the side, if you click on Deadhaus in your library, on the side it'll say friends.
Oh my God, dude. All right, for the record, everybody, Faceless Mike has 103 hours on record and counting. Whoa, you can do live wallpapers now on Steam? You can also do live wallpapers on Steam. This is awesome. He has the Witcher swords. They're glowing and they're dripping with rain, like they're dripping with water and it's raining. This is the coolest shit ever. Oh my God. He also has 1.5 hours on V Rising, which how is V Rising? I hear it's really good. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of survival games, really, but V Rising. If
you don't like survival games, you won't like it. It's a crafting game wearing a vampire skin. The vampire abilities and stuff like that take a second fiddle. They're selling it as a vampire game, but it's more about really the crafting and survival and stuff. But it's very clear there's huge homage to Legacy of Kain. You can clearly tell these guys are big fans of it there. V Rising, we've talked on end about it. Here's the funny part. I got to test V Rising, and I couldn't talk about it. And I wasn't a big fan. And I gave them my feedback. And I was nice about it. This game is crap. I actually legitimately gave proper recourse on what I thought about it. And then people are like, oh, yeah, it's released. Do you want to buy it? And I'm like, no. And then I was on a stream one evening and I was trying to educate people about Deadhaus Sonata, and I got a free key for V Rising.
That's great.
So I ended up getting the game anyway, which was really weird. Although I think I got us a few new fans, so it's a net win.
Like, I really wish, it kind of breaks my heart. Like, don't get me wrong, survival games are okay.
They have their place,
the
like
only
soccer
one,
games. I don't like soccer
yeah,
games, but there's people for that.
yeah. Like, I
Games
think
for everyone.
the survival game I played the most was Conan Exiles. Like for a free weekend or something, I played Conan Exiles, and I love it. Maybe it's because I love Conan, and like they're very much turn your brain off, just
Conan,
chill
what is best in
kind of
life?
games. Yeah, to build my house with these rocks, but I must farm for 5 hours and hit with my axe. No, so Conan Exiles is a really fun survival game if you like Conan. If you are not a Conan fan, I do not recommend it because it's very much, it's one of those things where it's got a really deep lore, but it's a survival game, which doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, and it hurts my heart because you have this great game, but it's a survival game, and it could easily be a really good single player or multiplayer like experience, like action game or something set in the world of Conan.
I was waiting for that.
Like V Rising looks fucking awesome. Would be a really great single player game or whatever, but it's a survival game, you know? Crushing your enemies, seeing them driven before you,
and you hear the lamentations of their women.
I love that movie, dude.
I was waiting for that, but it'd be kind of like the Elder Scrolls then. Like ESO,
like
it's not a great MMO, but if you're a big fan of the Elder Scrolls lore, it means more to you. It's way better because you get to like play in that whole world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a friend who's super in love with Elder Scrolls and like knows all the lore inside and out. And like, I'm pretty sure has logged in a couple of thousand hours in Elder Scrolls Online since release, you know, and like I understand it's really cool seeing those moments played out, like seeing big story moments or whatever within the world of Elder Scrolls played out online in an MMO. And you get more story and everything. And like, that's cool. But I'm more of a single player kind of guy, or if I'm multiplayer, it's only a few select ones that I kind of just get obsessed with and play for hours and hours and hours.
And to point out for that as well, for anyone, more guide sourcing for anyone, Deadhaus Sonata will be 6-player co-op, but while it is an online game, you will be perfectly able to go through and play the entire game solo by yourself. It will not require, it'll be very similar to Warframe in that regard, where you can go through and do it all yourself, but you don't have to.
Yeah. Which is good. Like having that option is good. I think that's how it kind of should always be with online games. You have that option of playing with friends, or you can play it single player. If you play it single player, you aren't missing on anything. If you play it online, you aren't missing on anything either.
Because some people just prefer to play a game with friends, that they'll only play the game when they're playing it with their friends. And that's cool too. The cool side to this is the idea is it will be cross-play and cross-save. So Xbox, PlayStation, PC, anything. It'll be coming onto nearly all major platforms, whatever way the guys can get it to work on everything, it'll be on everything. So, you know, even Final Fantasy 14 is making a single player mode now. There you go.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. That's how it should be. Like, I don't understand the problem. Here's the problem is with online games is like, what if they decide to cancel the game and shut the servers down? Then you're screwed because you can't get online anymore, right? But if you have a single player and you can just go single player and there's no servers involved and it's just on your hard drive or whatever, then you're good to go. Then you can still play that game. Like, and that's always a benefit. Like it seriously hurts my heart that World of Warcraft didn't have a single player option to where there wasn't any servers involved. It was just you are that one player, and they maybe change some of the systems where it's not so grindy. I think that would have been awesome. That way I could get my Warcraft experience and love that I have for Warcraft out of the way, while not having to play online with nobody or randomly getting killed in PvP servers or having to join a guild of randoms and everything like that. Because when I play Warcraft, I didn't have
random guild.
Yeah, random guild. Like I didn't have anybody to play with. I think that should just kind of be an option. Like it's always been a thing now since Oblivion to have a third person. Morrowind. It's always been a thing since Morrowind to have a third person option and a first person option within Elder Scrolls games, right? That's kind of how it should be now basically for all Bethesda games, Elder Scrolls or whatever, to have a third person and a first person option, because people like playing in third person, people like playing in first person. Just give us options. Options are always a good thing. That's why I'm going to mod a first person mode into Deadhaus.
You want to zoom into first person to get that drinking in the blood experience.
Heck yeah, dude. Full body awareness in a Deadhaus game that's first person. Being able to play the Lich and shoot fireballs or whatever in first person, that's awesome. Don't worry, guys. It'll be the first thing released within the mods. I'm going to make a first person mode for Deadhaus whenever modding is available.
That's another thing that they're bringing into it, that there will be community modding and it'll be open. It won't be something that's tacked on to the game. It'll be part of how you can use the game, because they want to be able to have people be able to make up their own stories for their friends. You can be the DM. Yeah. If you choose.
Think of it like dark and I would say dark and gothic Dungeons and Dragons, but that's like Pathfinder already, I think. I haven't played Pathfinder yet. But
everyone will see as more and more of the game gets released and people get better looks behind the scenes on how everything's working.
There's going to be, what day is it, man? I keep thinking like the official monthly stream is like 2 weeks out now, right?
Yep. It will be showing up on Wednesday the 29th.
All right.
We are currently on the 12th, in case you're wondering.
All right. Yeah, I was wondering what day it was. I was like, I know Rent is due in a couple days, so it's got to be close to Rent Day. But yeah, so I think. Well, I mean, that's I guess everything you guys need to know about Deadhaus so far. Does anybody here have any questions within the chat who has no idea what Deadhaus Sonata is or anything that you guys want to know about? Just ask away, and we shall answer.
This is not the face of a victor.
No, that's not the face of a victor. That's definitely that's not a victor. That's a victor. No,
Victor the vampire.
Victor.
Blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. Exactly. That's also what I think about. Blah blah blah. She's Louise.
Bella Lugosi's doing cartwheels in the coffin as we speak.
I mean,
narrative-driven online action role-playing game. What's this?
Yes.
ORG. How about just a story-driven RPG that's online?
Yeah, because that's the thing. You don't even have to be online. You can just do single player.
Yep.
Or wait, no.
I've done it in Warframe quite a bit because sometimes other people cause problems. So you want to queue solo and do things yourself. But I love the idea of playing a game. One of the big things I liked about Warframe is I could be playing it, and then people log in the Discord and see I'm playing it, and they go, "Hey, do you want a game?" And they can hop in, and we can just play together. Yeah. And the cool part of the free-to-play aspect is, I've never played Warframe. You should download it. We can play. Oh, how much? It's free.
Yeah, it's free. How much it's going to be is how much you want to spend. I think I put $5 down for Warframe to just get some colors for my skin.
Don't even want to think about how much I've spent on Warframe.
That's it. Oh my God.
I don't want to think about it.
Oh, I bought a house with Warframe.
I'm fairly certain I might have bought Space Mom.
That's what makes me sick. I think that's what makes me sick about the free to play market, or rather the pay to win market, because not all free to plays are pay to win, right? Yeah. That's what makes me sick about the pay to win aspect of games, is that like there are so many people who could have bought a house or a new car with all the money they put into a free to play or a pay to win kind of mindset for games. Like, and I think the crazy thing is not to freaking make this a Diablo Immortal stream, but the thing that hurts is that they're all the people who are bashing Blizzard for like, oh, Diablo Immortal is pay to win, and spent all this money just to prove their point. You just gave them more money. They don't care. You incentivized everything. That you proved them right. You proved them right or wrong that free-to-play games or pay-to-win games don't make any money in their shit, but then stop giving them money. Stop proving their point. And
I have a feeling the public
sucks.
backlash will get some things changed.
Oh,
I don't think they're going to 180 the game, but I do think they're going to change things.
They're not. They're gonna. What sucks the most is I think Diablo Immortal was going to be the base for Diablo 4, but they have quickly backpedaled all of that crap for Diablo 4. Like Diablo 4 is going to be, it's an open world now rather than just closed off hubs or acts. I guess it's an open world now. There's going to be microtransactions, but I'm pretty sure if they're smart, Blizzard will only make those microtransactions cosmetic. And if they don't, then they will lose a vast amount of Diablo 4 players.
Do you guys not have phones? Do you guys not have credit cards?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys not have a line of credit you can abuse, dude?
Do you not want to sell your house? Like, God.
You know, you can remortgage your house for these 9 legendary crests.
Jesus Christ. I think what makes it worse is that the amount is so high. If the amount was less, I think people it would still suck, but it would go over a little easier, just a little easier. Right, but the amount is ridiculous. Like, I'm telling you, $5, $10, even $3 here and there.
Keep in mind, dude,
better.
this all started with a $2 horse armor.
It did. It all started with a $2 horse armor. Thank you, Bethesda, for introducing all that stuff. It's $2 horse armor, and then I'm surprised Blizzard didn't learn from when they put in a real money auction house in Diablo 3. Do you remember that?
I do. I think things start to become difficult when you introduce money to games. So I don't just mean pay for stuff. Like, the way most mobile games work is you buy something on the Apple or Google store, magic happens in the background, currency comes up in your game. That's why you have these third-party currencies. It's usually like coins for soft currency and some type of gems for like the money currency, right? This is a standard practice. And nearly every mobile game has this. PC games are starting to include it, much to my chagrin, but look, here's where we are, right? Yeah. So that's okay, because what happens is Calypso buys $10 worth of gems from the Google Play Store, and you pay your $10 in sales tax and all that crap. The problem with Diablo is they started introducing that they were handling the money, which means there would be tax and VAT added onto things in different countries, and things start, forget even nickel and diming people. You're starting to have a problem with the tax man. And when the tax man becomes your problem, you're in trouble. Yeah. And that's I think where they discovered it's like, oh wait, hold on, because they would have nickel and dime people. I have no.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt, because they got to get out of that hole themselves in years ago.
They had no problem with the real money auction house in that regard, but they weren't smart enough to do it. They done it with direct money, and that's a problem.
That's the issue. Like,
finance is heavily regulated for a reason.
No,
Uncle Sam wants his cut. Uncle Sam always wants his
what
cut.
Gets me mad the most, I think, is that to bring it back to Diablo 2 again, Diablo 2 had an auction thing too, had trading or whatever. You can trade your gear with other players or your friends, which is fine. Part of an online market.
That's fine. They've done that in World of Warcraft. There's an auction house. Gold. You could sell craft and resources.
But it wasn't real money. It was all just in-game items. The moment that a game introduced, the moment that Diablo 3 introduced real money for in-game stuff, is for like just other players, like, oh, another player has a really rare legendary armor set and he wants $100 in real money for that armor set. That's like, what benefit other than Blizzard is getting, half of that cash anyway.
We all dance around the topic, but do you want to know why it annoys people the most? Yeah. There's a very, very basic, primitive, primal thing that really annoys people about this in video games. And it doesn't matter who you are. Anyone from a lowly free-to-play player in some random country on their phone to Elon Musk, and everyone in between, with Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these billionaires down to the thing. We play video games because we want a bit of escapism. When you introduce microtransactions, that means the people that get to pretend they're better than you and throw cash around because they're rich get to do that in the fictional world you go to escape from that in real life. And that is what really annoys people.
It's ridiculous. Like, I think it also, it bothers me, like, this is kind of what, like, this is why I stay away from a lot of mobile games. I think Diablo Immortal is the only mobile game I played for more than a couple of hours, other than like Max Payne, the Max Payne mobile version, because that it's Max Payne, it's single player. I think I
played a grand total of an hour and a half of Diablo Immortal before I uninstalled it. I'm like, you know something, this just makes me want to go play Diablo 3 on my Switch.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like when I play a video game, I want to sit down, I want to log in, if it's an online game, whatever, and I want to play and shoot and kill things and not think about anything. The moment I get an ad for a DLC or to spend real money that I just got home from work, busting my ass, making that real money, like, hurts my soul and makes me want to stop playing the game, you know?
What makes people stop playing it faster as well, Calypso, is when exactly what you said. Now imagine your curiosity was piqued because of that, because you're tired. And you're like, okay, whatever. Tired. Let's see what's in the shop anyway, because I'm too tired to play the game, so I'm just bored. I'm going to just flick through the shop. And you look at something cool and you go, I can't afford that. The fact that you can't afford something in a friggin' like microtransaction mini game on your phone, that causes depression and sadness. Because this is meant to be something that's cheap, that you like throw money at because it's irrelevant. It's a small irrelevant amount. When that stops becoming a small irrelevant amount and it becomes a bigger amount, people despise that.
No, dude, the worst to wrap this up, the worst thing is that Diablo Immortal has done. I'm not even going to say it's, you know, all the cash you need to spend to get the best items, right? It's just the cosmetics. Like, you made the most simplest, easiest, most ethical thing you can do for a free-to-play game, which is your cosmetics, and you've price gouged them to a ridiculous amount. And it's not even because video games are crazy dumb expensive to make now, and that you need to make your money back because it's a mobile game or whatever, you know, and you're spending man hours working on a free-to-play game that they're not technically making money from, right? That they're losing money on, right? It's that you made your cosmetics so fucking expensive. Let's say Diablo Immortal didn't have any of the gems or the crests or the rifts to fucking unlock and shit, and you didn't have to pay for any of that. And your cosmetics alone were the only thing they were making money off of. The cosmetics are too expensive. One skin for Diablo Immortal, for your monk or your barbarian character, and it's character based. It's not account based. It's character based. Is $15 to unlock one skin that just overlays your character in like a badass armor. It's really cool armor.
Sea of Thieves, it's $15. In Sea of Thieves, for like $14, you get like what they call like an ultimate collection for your ship. Like, so you get like everything to deck out your ship. So like, if you go in, like we were talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff before, you can get like, is it? It's called Eternal Freedom, but there's the complete collection, Eternal Freedom complete collection. And it's like $14. And they tell you it's $14. It tells you how much it is in ancient coins, but it actually says $14.99. So it has it like that. And it gives you the whole thing of the ship. It's got the sails, it's got the stern, the cannons, the blood, like it's got all the stuff.
Yeah.
For more than that is one character in a mobile.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like you guys can do this right now. You can freaking just go to the wiki or whatever. It's already logged on there, or just Google how much Diablo Immortal cosmetics are. The fact that 1 hour of my paycheck is a cosmetic skin for Diablo Immortal hurts my soul.
That's upsetting.
And they need to Blizzard. If you end up, I'll probably clip this too. Hold on, let me put that for editing. Blizzard, if you watch this video and you are debating this for Diablo 4 as your microtransactions, as your DLCs, and it's cosmetic items only, do not make it $15 for a barbarian skin or whatever, and don't make it character based. Diablo Immortal is character based. I can only unlock one skin per character, but I still have to pay the same amount each and every time for the character. not $15 for one cosmetic item that travels across different characters and is different looking for each class. It's per character. Do not do this. Blizzard, please make your cosmetics items $5-10 max. Anything more than that, and you lost people, you lost players.
$5
give a
or
shit.
less,
People
especially
hate you more.
for a
$5 or
mobile
less
game.
is even better.
For a mobile game, like it'd be one thing
Yeah.
if it was like a big PC game or something like that, where like you're an MMO or something. But even that, I wouldn't agree with too much. But the idea that it's per class is insane.
Per class.
That you can't do all of that, and for that price. And keep in mind the timing here, because this was all done intentionally. We just got out of a global pandemic where there's massive inflation.
Yes,
like most people are struggling for money. Like, I know you could just say, well, you don't have
most
to
people
play.
are struggling
but
for
they
money,
didn't
but
have
all the
to
whales who
the
gave
game.
Blizzard all their money already aren't. Like,
yeah, like they could say, you don't have to buy it, and they didn't have to release it, but here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys not have phones? Yeah, we do have phones, but now our phones are going to go in the trash to get rid of Diablo Immortal. Like, and I think the worst part is that Diablo Immortal isn't a bad game. It's a good game. It can easily be a Diablo 3.5 full release, full PC thing.
I think that's what made it worse for people. That it just seemed really good up until I think it was like level 35 or something. That they hammered on the brakes
down. Yep. My friend is level 35 now, and he was like, man, I managed to get to level 35 in an hour, or like an hour and a half tops, right? Got to level 35. Now the progress has halted significantly, and it's going to be more of a regular grind, or even more of a grind than it normally would be on a regular game. Like, what? But anyways, that's all for now. This got me angry. That's all for now. But don't rest assured, people, Deadhaus Sonata will not be like this.
Not at all.
Do not worry.
You can take Dennis's word on it. It will be done ethically. And it'll be done in a way that everyone's happy with. Now, granted, some people are going to scream pay to win. They did that with Warframe too. They still do it with Warframe. It's pay to win.
Of course.
No, it's not. You can't win by paying money in Warframe. It doesn't work that way.
So, but don't worry, guys. Deadhaus Sonata won't be like this. But with that, we at Deadhaus Whispers are not paid to win. If you want to pay me,
we're not even paid.
We will not win. We're not even paid. So I've been Calypso. You can find me on YouTube. Just type in Deadhaus Sonata. It's the first me, and the official channel will show up. Or Deadhaus Whispers also. You can find me on Twitter at Necrolibriatus, as well as Instagram at Necrolibriatus. And you can find Faceless Mike on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at The Faceless Mike everywhere. And don't forget to follow the official Deadhaus Sonata stuff at deadhaussonata.com, at Deadhaus Game on Twitter and Instagram. That's did I get that? Yeah, and at deadhaussonata.com. That's HAUS. Deadhaus.com. And we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
See ya.